Hey everybody, just so you know, October is Lupus Awareness Month. Lupus is an autoimmune disease that there's no specific cause for. It's believed to be genetic, affects more women than men, but it does affect men, don't be surprised. And basically what it does is the immune system attacks itself. It can't tell the difference between good cells and bad cells. It causes inflammation of the skin, joints, muscle, kinds of painful, everyday kind of things. It's an invisible disease where there aren't any like lesions or anything like that. So you could look at somebody and say, well, they look fine, but they in fact are suffering from lupus. A little known fact about lupus is that lupus is not contagious. It can't be caught, by any fluid, shaking somebody's hands, and it's not a cancer. It's not cancerous. It isn't rare. No, not by a long shot. According to research, 16 million people a year will be diagnosed with lupus every single year. Back in 1994, there was a study that concluded that anywhere from 1.4 to 2 million people had already been diagnosed with lupus. Lupus itself is not necessarily fatal, but the organ damage that's done by the lupus can in fact be fatal. Over the course of time, from the first time that lupus was recognized, the chances of living with lupus have gone from 4 years to 10 years. But again, that really relies on how much organ damage is done, and of course everything relates to how a person feels about themselves to start with. The pain that you suffer every day from lupus is enough to give you a really crappy attitude. One of the things that are fairly telltale is what they call a butterfly rash, and that rash usually occurs around the face here, and across the cheekbones in the shape of a butterfly, and that's why butterflies are used to represent lupus. I want you guys to learn more about it. I have a family member who suffers, and it's very difficult for her. And it's difficult for the rest of us to watch how she suffers. And also, the chances of myself and the rest of my family, who all have one autoimmune disease or another, of actually being diagnosed with lupus is extremely high. Again, genetics do play a part, but it can be from stressors, from different environmental factors. Let's see, that would be ones such as infections, antibodies, ultraviolet lights, extreme stress, and certain types of drugs that play a critical role in triggering lupus. And I say triggering because you may never know that you have it until something you do basically sets it off and it runs rampant through you. Lupus is more prevalent in African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, and Asians, and it is actually more prevalent than AIDS, sickle cell, cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, and cystic fibrosis. Why don't people know about this? I'll never understand, but it's out there, and we need help with research. Lupus is a disease that is very hidden. I say an invisible disease, in other terms aside from looking at somebody and not being able to tell that they have a disease. It's also an invisible disease because nobody talks about it. We need to talk about it. It attacks predominantly women. Like I said, it does attack men as well. Young women who just may say, oh, they just don't feel well, or they're kind of cranky, or their arms or legs or joints hurt, oh, it's growing pains. No, keep an eye out. I'd love for you to visit www.lupus.org to find out more about the disease itself and more about how you can help make the disease easier to bear, and how you can donate to help with research. Thanks so much for listening. Remember, October is Lupus Awareness Month, and someone you love may very well have lupus.